My people were biologically determined for one purpose alone, to sense the coming of damn fine podcasts. I sense it coming now.
Hot damn.
Hot damn. Hello, and welcome to a Discovery Home Companion. Home for podcast companionship, but not in a creepy way, like if we were, fake Klingons or something.
Or if we were James Franco and your professor.
Yes.
You will never be able to podcast as good as us. Your tongue is too human.
My name is Wade Bowen. With me is James Nolan.
Hey, guys.
And Hugh Crawford.
Good evening.
Are you giving me your ASMR?
That was just for one listener in particular, and that they know who they are. Yes, and right now this is our call-in segment, right?
Oh, yes.
Creepy sounds aside.
Yes, yeah. We've watched the show. We came in hot right after the show. We did that whole thing. You've probably listened to it if you're listening to this. And now we're just, we're a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
Or at least I am anyway. So,
and it has been an eventful few days in just the news of the episode. A lot has happened, I guess.
Yeah. We were all kind of they fridged the gay guy, and since then they gotten a lot of flack. People upset about this, which I agree, rightfully, bury your gays is a horrible trope, and it felt like that's what they're doing. That's really gross. Why do they do that?
Mm-hmm.
But the show has an openly gay showrunner, and they're, everybody, they were on the cover of The Advocate, so everybody's like, no, bear with us. We're not doing a bury your gay storyline. It's going to pay off. We promise. Please, 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 just bear with us.
They got a letter certified from GLAAD.
Yeah.
They got a certified letter by GLAAD saying it was okay for them to do this. I don't know. If you haven't read those articles, there's a ton of them out there. Mostly they leaked. I guess they tied a long conversation with Variety that came out Monday morning. That was I don't know. It seemed intensely backpedally to me. And I still find all of their
But it was premeditated. So that was so weird.
Was
they
it?
went
or was
they got the letter. Well, they got the letter before it aired.
That was true.
So that they anticipated a certain amount of backlash.
Right. And my conspiracy theory of it is maybe a producer handed down this is what we're doing on the show, and then they're like, whoa, how can we salvage this shit sandwich?
You can name them. We've named them here.
Yeah,
we name producer names here. You think Alex Kurtzman told them?
I'm calling you out. I don't know.
It's possible. So, I don't know. I mean,
coming from the world of mainstream superhero fandom, nobody's really dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these characters are franchise characters that you could kill off for shock value, especially in a serialized story format. And you can always bring them back with some sort of nonsense, especially in science fiction. So, like I said in the episode, So
my question is, does this make that better or bad? Does that make this better or worse?
Well, I have value judgment on their storytelling. I think clearly it's bad.
Yeah,
I think whenever you kill a character just to get a shock from your audience, and it has real no bearing on the story. Culber wasn't going to help them get back.
That's kind of where I'm I think they can salvage something of it. I still think it was a bad choice. If you're going to kill a character, they were simply trying to do Game of Thrones and show you, hey, look, anybody could die at any time. Nobody's safe. And I get that's what they're trying to do, but you could have done better. Make his death mean something. He had no aid, make him sacrifice.
The only person that I felt obviously, we always make the Game of Thrones they just be killing motherfuckers left and right. But
mm-hmm.
In hindsight, it's shocking when it happens. But in hindsight, it's I guess they're saying give us a break. It'll be important in the story. But they were major characters, and Culber's not a major character yet. I guess.
Oh no, we didn't see him for the first 2 episodes. So like there were
yeah. Well, we didn't see the whole crew for the first 2 episodes, except for.
That's my point. Is that what was that episode 10 that we just watched?
Yeah, we didn't see him in the third.
Okay, so Culber's been in it. And,
if we could splice up all of Culber's screen time, does it hit 5 minutes?
It probably hits 5 minutes. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
But it's a tight 5.
It is a tight.
It's 5. A tight 5. Yeah, it doesn't hit 10 minutes.
So anyway,
I mean, I'm the guy that defends the show, and I will agree. Like, it's not the best show, and I've tried to defend the writers, and I think the writers are fine writers. We've gotten into arguments about whether they're awful or not.
Mm-hmm.
Then I looked them up, and I looked up all their histories and stuff, and yes, they're just TV writers, and they've done procedurals, they've done quirky romantic shows, and they've done period dramas and stuff, but they're all very young, and they don't have like a Milch or something to guide the show.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, is that is, I mean, everybody knows that working in a writer's room and even getting like credit on an episode isn't like, unless you're, I mean, like there are certain writers that exist in like Ronald D. Moore on Deep Space Nine. He was when his credit was on there, you were pretty assumed that he didn't allow a lot of stepping on his work.
Right.
Vince Gilligan for X-Files, he didn't let Chris Carter fuck a lot with his shit. But like in general, they're mostly just perfunctory credits.
Well,
and most of the writing is done on the table or in the room.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like even the showrunners, which I do like the work that they've worked on, like Dead Like Me, I think, and other like Brian Fuller stuff. Even those shows are not highly serialized arc shows or prestige television to an extent. Like they're great shows, but they're still like, I feel like a lot of the one-off episodic nature of the first chapter or whatever is like because they haven't written these kind of they're not coming from The Sopranos or Mad Men or Deadwood or anything like that. They've worked on basic network procedurals or like low like CW air range shows with and stuff like that. Like so they're not awful, but I think the writing is not high prestige television writing.
Could this show have gotten a better writer's room?
Yeah, that's the thing that I wish like if they had,
it's not just that it's not like saying I wish that Arrow got a better writer's room or I wish Ghosted had a better writer's room. You're saying like that, like I'm saying like this show could have got a better writer's room.
Right. That's
like I don't know if they cut corners or they put too much faith in Alex Kurtzman.
We blame the writers an awful lot, but the fact of the matter is that they're hamstrung with a lot of weird corporate mandates, most likely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Probably.
And we don't know those constraints, and it doesn't matter. They could have had Robert Hewitt Wolf could be in there.
That's what I wish they'd gotten because he'd do it. But
with all these mandates out there, maybe he would just be like, I don't need this nonsense.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I'm always saying that the writing sucks.
Right.
And so
I'm saying
I think that you want to defend the writers. And I don't know the writers.
I'm defending.
I just know what I'm seeing.
I'm defending the writers in that like the writing. I don't think it sucks as bad as you keep asserting it sucks. It's basic. There's other TV writing that is on par with this writing.
It's mind-boggling to me that they would go this route. And even if it's a quality story, like even if they save it in story, like in Culver Comes Back, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I'm not 100%.
He's coming back in some form.
I'm not totally sure how. Then how does that justify murdering him? Then
it doesn't.
It doesn't ultimately. It just all you can do is mitigate at this point. Yeah. Like
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like my guess is he comes back, but he gets to share a body with his lover or something, and they have scenes where he's in his head and something like that. That's my.
So it's a Steve Martin movie. That's what we've got going on with it.
Yeah, he's the man with two brains.
All right. Well, that gives us something to look forward to.
That's my prediction. Yeah. They've all been right so far, but we'll see. Maybe I would love to be wrong.
Yeah.
All right. But do we want to get into calls?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's see. What do we got here? First off, here we got a voicemail from Eric, Aerial Base, Eric from Pennsylvania, and He sent an email. Here I am calling in to ride to Wade's defense. Da, 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 da. I like this episode. I like this show. I like these characters. Screw you guys.
Hello out there in podcast land. This is Eric from Pennsylvania at Aerial Base on Twitter and other assorted social medias. Look, my boy, Wade, I got your back on this. I don't know what is up these grumpy faces' butts about this show. You guys you're just down on it. You're just not on board with this Star Trek, and I guess that's fine. Like, you don't have to be on board, but I don't know. I can't follow what you want from this show and like what your experience is of it. I mean, there's things to criticize about this show. Don't get me wrong. I've called in and criticized things about this show, but sometimes it feels like you're watching something completely different than what I'm watching. Like, you're saying we can't go to the mirror universe because we're not invested in these characters. And for me, if I was explaining my experience of this show to somebody who wasn't watching, what I would say is it's still finding its footing. It's sometimes the top-down plot is clunky and they're picking up and dropping threads willy-nilly, and I can't always follow what's supposed to be important. But like, you leave aside some of that top-down stuff and you got a core group of characters that are just a ton of fun and really interesting. And, you know, I said this on Twitter, but like, I'm more invested in like Detmer and Wishikin with their combined 4 lines of dialogue so far than I was in like Tom Paris or Chakotay after 7 freaking years. Like, these, you know, we have a crew of skilled professionals working together, but not in the bland way that you sometimes get on like Voyager or the Worst of Next Gen, where everybody's so perfect that they don't rub against each other in any interesting ways. Like, I think that the characters are the strongest thing about this show. And, you know, you've spoken on the other podcast in the past about disliking the mirror universe because it's just an excuse for everybody to play like sexy, evil dress-up versions of themselves. And this time around, we haven't met the mirror versions of any of our main casts. They're in a new and threatening place, and they're adapting to that, and they're not doing the dumb gimmicky stuff that you usually criticize, and you're still not happy with that. And this week we got an episode that, you know, it tells a cohesive and clear narrative with a beginning, a middle, and end, and there's no confusion about what's important, and it's setting up stuff to come, and like all the stuff that you're criticizing the show for not doing, it's doing, and it's still not working for you. So I don't know. I don't know what you want. I have no idea what you want this show to be. But it's fun hearing you guys fight. So I guess I'll keep tuning in to you guys fighting. Peldor Joy, assholes.
Preach.
Well, who wants to go first with what they want the show to be? I didn't know I was so clear or muddled about what I wanted.
Well, I think the what he's getting at is like when they start giving what you say you want, y'all say it's not doing it.
But that's not what we're saying at all.
I don't know. I kind of agree with.
I agree. I agree with the mirror. That's actually a thought I had about the mirror universe later in the week. You know, it's because we do have time to digest, and we're coming in hot with our initial impressions right after we record, right after it airs. So yeah, like I do like the fact that they didn't do the stupid vamping, and they actually inversed it, where we have our main characters have to do some level of impersonating, and that's a strength, but it still doesn't take away other stuff that's not working for me that he listed a bunch of faults with the show,
right?
And those faults are good enough. Like, I didn't say I took exception. Like, I don't like the mirror universe. What I do like about this particular episode that just aired, I liked about a 10-minute chunk of it where they are working together to solve problems. And that's why I like that, is because that's primarily what I want the show to be. When he asked what I want a team of people in space, like problem solving, because that's what I like from the show. And I like their problems to have themes for them to deal with as characters. That's what I like. And we're getting like one muddled mess and drop storyline after another. Like the
But
war that we
that's-
just saw had nothing to. They're in a war, and they're not actually having any conflict they have with the war is not. They're not actually saying anything interesting about war or war in the future or anything.
But this goes back to and what Eric was saying. Yes, there were problems in the first half. Why, like, this is a fresh start and it's starting off well. So why can't we just sit back and enjoy this fresh start?
It's not starting off well if you've got a bunch of drop storylines that you're doing like a hard reboot.
Tell me what. Give me the drop storyline.
The Klingon.
Well, how about the Klingon War?
They're getting back.
That's the biggest thing that we had to watch for what 6 episodes.
It's different, but the Klingon War still their whole goal now is to get back to win so that they can provide the information to win the war.
Lorca's entanglements with his sex boss. That's a key storyline in 3 different episodes. It also motivates a lot of his manipulations over the last 3 seasons. Now we're basically 3 episodes. Sorry. Now we're working without it.
But no, his manipulations to keep Burnham alive, to get to the mirror universe,
stay in power,
whatever his motive is.
Yeah.
His motive to stay in the universe, to keep his captainship so he can get back to the mirror universe, presumably for what end we don't know yet.
Here's what I'm afraid of: is that we have 2 different people who don't like the show that are delivering critiques on the show, and one person who's defending it. So I think that sometimes that mine and Hugh's critiques may get muddled as their own. So I don't want that to happen because I think that's what leads to confusion is what do you guys want? And it's like me and Hugh aren't speaking as a monolith. So maybe you're hearing Hugh say something and me say something and it sounds like it's a contradictory want.
Well,
but I want to start off with saying that I respect Eric's opinion. I don't understand why he likes any of these characters. And he named 2 characters. He named 2 characters on the bridge who is I don't even know their names. He knows their names, and that's good. And he had to look it up probably somewhere. He didn't just get it from the show. Maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe they say it one time. But these characters don't have names. Unless you don't go to the website, these characters don't have names. And they're interesting, and they're cool looking, but they don't have names. You've been introduced to now, how many characters that you've been introduced to have died? I mean, Michelle Yeoh died, Connor died twice. These are speaking roles.
The security officer died.
The security officer. Then you introduce in episode 5 a character that now becomes the second most important character on the show, who's clearly like they telegraph what's going on. But even if you don't look at it, he's just a new character, but he's clearly a time bomb. Stamets is nothing but plot time bomb. All of his emotional life, all of his hope, all of his character is tied up in this weird shit that's going on around him. So he's not a character, he's a predicament at this point. And so is Ash. Ash is not a character. Ash is a predicament. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are really involved in the love story between Ash and Michael Burnham.
There are some.
The problem with me and stuff like this is there are flashes of what I want. They give me like small portions of what I want. Like there's this scene where with like I'll tell you, like Burnham and Stamets when they're having that slow dance and he was explaining his relationship with the doctor, and it was a real character building moment where he was more than for just a predicament for that moment, and it was a really well done part. And this last episode where we had Tilly get told from Michael Burnham where she should find her confidence as a captain in her crew, and it was just a really wonderful scene.
I agree. My problem, it feels like it's, if you say they're not characters, it's shutting down how we can talk about what bits might work for other people.
Well, and I think that what I'm trying to say is that we get flashes of them being characters. We get bits of it, but more the writers are treating them more like predicaments, rather than characters. And it's like a start, stop, where we get a little taste, and then it's, Eric literally asked us what do we want from the show, so we're just answering. Like I answered, I want, I like the problem solving, like the teamwork and problem solving, and for their problems to tie in with a theme to deal with it. That's what I like, and that's not what I'm getting. I'm willing to bet that the mirror universe, their trip in the mirror universe, if the previous episodes are any indication, will traumatize them or damage them. But I don't know if they'll actually have any sort of growth from it.
Yeah. Well, like if we're talking about like, oh, they're not characters and how they've not been, or they've been uneven in the season up till now, and saying, oh, they're not characters, instead of talking about like the scenes that in this episode between Burnham and Ash, like we could talk about what works and what doesn't in those. But we're just like, oh, but they suck, and that's all we're getting. That's all I'm hearing.
I don't think either one of us have said something sucked and then not followed it up.
Tilly is a character. Lorca is a character. Done. Those are interesting characters. Mm-hmm. They're interesting to watch.
That's why they're favorites, or at least.
Here's what it is. You picture, like, okay, so you're walking somewhere with a friend and both of you watch the show, but they missed last night's show. And they're like, tell me a little bit about what happened on the show. And you tell them something and they go, oh, that's so Tilly. Like that kind of thing, that their character, they're who they are as a person, left an imprint on you, and that you can enjoy that, and you can predict what they're going to do, and you can predict when they're acting out of character, and then maybe that's why are they doing that. They can do things that disappoint you, like when a character decides to fuck a guy you think's bad for her or something like that. They can disappoint you.
You mean like Michael did with Ashvok in this episode?
Sure, but that is not a disappointment, because that is like, he's not gonna break her heart. He's gonna fuck the shit up.
Oh, he's gonna
he's a time bomb.
He's gonna break her heart.
Okay, I get that, but it's also
that's built in there.
It's like Sue Storm fucking Doctor Doom. It's more than just a slight issue. I will
agree that like lesser writers use these as like, oh, this is what this character's doing, instead of like if this were Deadwood or something, we might like have this great writing that really invests.
Well, I guess that's what gets me, is that you do agree with us on a lot of stuff. I do. You still get incredulous.
And then you always place it in some sort of continuum. Well, what did you expect from this show? You don't like this season, but every Star Trek season has a bad first season. But like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to compare. I'm comparing it to good or not good, not to other things.
I want to make a judgment about this season at the end of this season.
Right.
When an episode happens, I want to talk about this episode.
Well, like Eric was talking about how invested he was into these characters that we had to look up their names compared to Chakotay and Tom Paris. But that's fine. We have got nothing to do with Chakotay and Tom Paris. We're not a Star Trek Voyager podcast.
Yeah, and so I bailed out of Star Trek Voyager after first season.
I hate those two characters.
I agree with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Eric, nobody likes those characters.
Yeah.
So I think that what he's saying is not that, I mean, he's invested in them, but it's invested like the way we, like kids, or when we were kids, we were invested in Boba Fett.
Well, I guess
it's not because the writer is doing something cool. It's because they look cool.
Right.
And it's like at a party and you're like, I want to know that person more.
Right.
They're giving off vibes.
They might,
but I guess that's not the same as like a character to me.
I guess what I would ask would be like, instead of just saying they're not characters at all, let's talk about how they're bad characters. But does that make any sense?
But they're not. But they're being treated poorly. I think that's what I'm saying. I think I'm saying they're being.
Yeah, Ash and Stamets are not characters. They're predicaments.
They are. They're just not well written characters. The characters is.
I think Stamets is fine written. I just think that he's since the second episode, it's been about what's going on with him.
But
then the first episode, he was a bitchy hard ass, which is a character.
Uh-huh.
Whether you like it or not, that's a character.
Right.
Ever since that first episode he's in, he's a problem. You absolutely don't know what's going on with what he's saying from place to place. He is probably, we all believe, two different characters.
Yeah, he's a problem character. He's still a character.
Don't we think that he's flipping with his mirror universe self? Isn't that something that we think off and on throughout the first 10 episodes?
Yeah, probably.
Something along those lines.
He's an easygoing guy. Yeah,
so he's not a character. He's two characters, and they're not telling us that.
So, yeah. Okay. And they're letting us try and figure it out. And then hopefully by the end of it, it'll somehow come together.
Ash is not a character. He's two characters.
Again. And then we're dealing with that. And then hopefully by the end, they somehow tie that together.
But they're not. But you get my.
We don't know.
I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to make a point here. They're not characters.
They're two characters. You can't. But that's still characters.
I'm not saying they don't fit the platonic ideal of a character. I'm saying that they don't fit. Like, I can't care about them.
There's like two dichotomies.
They're not three-dimensional characters.
They're not three-dimensional human beings to me. Right. So I can't care about them.
Like Tilly is. is that you can imagine a conversation that Tilly would.
Tilly is a character. Lorca is a character. You don't know everything that's going on with him. He's got mysteries and shit, but he's a person. He's got a personality. He's got a swagger. He's got a style. He's got a way that he looks at things and approaches the world.
If you give him some bad news that he's not going to like, you can imagine how he would take it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Ash, I agree. He's not the best character. He's a hollow, and then it's him and Burnham are like making goo eyes at each other, and they just go to.
And so they spent 4 episodes building up Vok is a character and wasn't the most uninteresting character in the world.
Right.
And then they literally trash canned him for this fucker.
Yeah.
Who is clearly like who is Superman. He is like Dream Date. He's Ken from a Barbie set, who's also like fucked up PTSD that they bring in the last 2 episodes. Last 2 episodes they brought that in.
Yeah.
And he's fucked up from it, but we know why he's fucked up from it. And it's probably like that it's probably not even that he was raped. He was.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's the cover story of his sweater and stuff. Yeah.
So I mean, he's probably just had a lot of sex with Laurel, and then they turned him into Clem Fandango. So none of that's.
I agree. This is all more interesting to talk about than just to say, these aren't characters I hate.
But we always follow up our points with points.
Like I never say it's not a character. Move on. I always say my reasons.
Kind of feels like that's.
I will always give you reasons, and I try to be succinct. I ramble sometimes, but so that's my issue: is that there's not space friends. It's not a group. I like Saru. Saru's never in a scene with other people. He's hardly ever in a scene with other people.
Right. Yeah.
Like I like Saru.
He's alone in a room Googling how to be a good captain.
Yeah, he's hardly ever. Too, yeah. There's never these group scenes where Tilly is saying like DS9 has these fuck tons of like scenes where a bunch of people are in a room shouting shooting off lines to one another.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 people.
And a lot of times, certain characters' lines don't come off as well as well written character. They're just like, oh, it's just technobabble. That happens too.
No. Like O'Brien talking about Molly and her night terrors.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And there's like 5 people who has a reaction, an in-character reaction to it.
Or Dax saying a bunch of stuff to make people sexually uncomfortable or whatever, like to test them.
But
like
then we go back into season 1, Dax, and it's like,
okay, but season 1 sucked, and I have a whole. And if you don't think that I held that shit to the fire. Go back and listen to the ROA podcast. That shit sucked. Look, Star Trek Discovery might do Way of the Warrior good shit in season 4, and I don't know. And I will say that, God forbid, if we're still doing this podcast. But I didn't like that, and I didn't like that during Deep Space Nine.
I've got great hope for this show and where it could go, because what excites me is that Ash, Vok, and Lorca are who we think they are. One's clearly a Vulcan. Lorca is clearly from the Mirror Universe. What I want is for them to stay on throughout the next 7 years. I don't want Ash to die. I want him to be discovered, and then they decide to rehab him or keep him, because it's interesting to me to have damaged people working together to solve problems in space. I don't care that they're damaged or that they've had a trauma. That makes them more interesting as 3-dimensional characters. But when you treat their trauma as a predicament instead of something that Berman's mutiny, that is a trauma that she experienced that informs who she is as a character. That's why she's able to come from a place of humbled experience when she talks to Tilly about what it takes to be a captain. She knows what it takes to be a captain. She was almost there. She could taste it. She knows all the right answers, but she's not in a place of firsthand. This is somebody else's time to experience that. This is Captain Tilly's time to go through that.
Right.
So it's her trauma informs those great character moments. We're just waiting for everybody else's trauma to inform their character moment.
And I think that it's a problem that Berman making Berman as a lead, and it's not Sonequa Martin Green's fault, but the problem is that these kind of emotionless they're weirdos.
Sure.
I don't understand why she responds to anything the way she does. I can't relate to it. And so what you have is an emotional sort of cipher in the middle. Now, she's probably going to feel some big emotions. She's probably going to break down and cry her little fucking ass off. And she obviously is falling in love. That's an emotion. So she's having emotions.
I feel like she's emoting the hell out of things and almost out of my taste.
But it's too broad. It's her only emotions are operatic.
Yeah.
And then every time else she's
That's
not.
because the scenes. I think early on she had some more nuance. Like sometimes when she did stuff with just a look, you know, she's an actress who can work really well with silence and looks and tone. And it's unfortunate that they've had a lot of these soap opera melodramatic type scenes where she's got to have her bottom lip quiver and fall into the hands of her lover.
Yeah, she's not working as a character. And I think that's the biggest problem that the show has, more than anything else we've talked about.
Yeah, I think she's kind of milquetoast.
But she's not working as a character. And I think it's the Vulcan thing, and I think they probably told her to act like Leonard Nimoy did and play it so it's not like I said to you I sent it over text message, a couple of ideas. Is one of them is she could be like a Vulcan preacher's daughter, where she's faking a lot of this shit, and like her real personality is not that, or is a rebellious. She has this sort of innate desire to want to like rebel against this logic shit, this like emotionless bullshit, and so that gives her like this incongruity as a character. The other thing is that like that I suggested I think that might work is that like give her real, like she doesn't have real flaws either. Yeah. She made a mistake. She doesn't have she doesn't have character flaws. So there's no point where you go, I hope she makes a better decision.
Yeah, other than please don't fuck that guy. But yeah, no, I agree with you.
Well, think about all the times in Mad Men where Don Draper, where you're like, God, I hope he doesn't descend into like just drinking more, or I hope he doesn't fuck this woman. You know, like there were he's making bad decisions, and his bad decisions hurt the better things about him. And there's none of that with her. It's just she made a mistake. It's not clear in any way if it was a right mistake or a wrong mistake. Like if she was trying to do right or if she was dumb. Like none of that's clear, and that still resonates throughout the show. And she's just not working. She's not a three-dimensional character.
What worked for me in this episode, and the use of the mirror universe, like. Mm-hmm. Was everybody kind of getting what they wanted, but like it sucks. Like Tilly finally gets to be a captain, but they're in this horrible situation. The scene near the end when she's captain of the Shinzo, but she's sitting on the throne, but looking kind of miserable with all these people behind her and stuff.
I think they may be doing, and I thought about it afterwards. I think they're doing a thing where she, like Tilly is obviously, it's not in Tilly.
Right.
To be this person. So she's not like getting to be the person that she is, you know? But is Berman getting to be a little bit like, does Berman like the mirror universe a little bit? Because she's a dirty mind, which I think I asked a few episodes ago. And I think like maybe she's not like sexually, but you know what I mean? Like she like sometimes I just want to beat the fuck out of a motherfucker. Yeah, she's Wolverine or something like that. She's someone that's more comfortable in a darker environment where she's allowed to.
I would like if that were the case, but it feels like she's just traumatized by having to kill Connor.
I know.
And now she's falling into the arms of, because her and Ash Vok are both damaged by what they've done, and so they find kind of like maybe we can fuck away our problems, but they can't.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me as a
She's constantly a victim of her poor lack of choices. Yeah,
that doesn't work for me as a trope either.
It is a bit of a trope.
We have two characters who end up killing people and are traumatized by it, so they fuck at the end.
They fuck the pain away, like the Peaches song.
Yeah, right. We don't even know how traumatized he is, or if he just kind of blacked out and went into fugue state to hide the body or something.
That's
like when he comes back on, he's like, "Where have you been?" He's like, "I don't know."
You're pulling a Lorca here.
Yeah. And then at the end, it's like, "Oh, he's dangerous" or something. But I don't know.
Well, because he's a cornered. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, you're so.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is that this. Can we be honest? This show is being clearly constructed around us not suspecting that Ash is fuck.
Yeah, I think they laid their cards out on the table to where it's obvious. They're not saying when you interview.
No, you're supposed to go. You're supposed to be saying, "Why did he snap? Are they going to have to rehabilitate him?" I think they think that I think
it's
like all the people that we found on Twitter who are like, I don't know, Ash might not be from Seattle.
Yeah. Everybody now, I think after Hugh got his neck snapped. Mm-hmm. That's his first name. Because he found out. Because I think nobody's saying that he's not. Because he was like, "Oh, you had all this surgery done. I think everybody agrees that Hugh found out that he's a Klingon and that's why he died. I don't think it's really up in the air now.
I just found like Twitter was awash of people going, is it possible that Ash is Vuk? Like this week? So my point is...
Yeah, because it finally dawned on them.
But
this week is when they realized it. People before...
But I'm not asking about do people do it, and I'm saying do the writers, when they closed whatever the fuck this episode was called, In Spite of Ourselves or whatever,
right.
like when they closed it, when they locked the script, did they go, man, those viewers still don't know he's Vuk?
I think because... Going back to they're kind of green writers, I think they think they're going to be surprising us more than they are. I think when they're in the writing room, they're like, oh my God, this is going to be such a surprise, not realizing how savvy people on the internet are. Like, I think
when I say that it has bad writing, then why is that offensive?
I'm saying it's not. You've been saying this writing is dog shit and it's awful. I'm saying it's like standard TV fare that I enjoy. Like, is it
possible? Is it a possible this is a you say tomato, I say tomato situation?
That's what I've been trying to say. Is there's a bit of semantics.
Well,
you
keep saying like Arrow is better than this. This is the Arrowverse this is on par with that. This is the same kind of writing, and I enjoy that. I watch The Flash. I like.
Do those cost $9 million an episode?
No, but we're not talking about the cost. We're talking about the writing.
I guess I don't know. I don't watch Arrow either. But
Eric, we appreciate your call. You're a good egg.
He is a good egg.
Even though we disagree with you.
I don't.
Well, none of us like the Voyager. Like the Voyager thing was like, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay,
who among us was going on and on about Chakotay and Tom Paris for him to bring that up?
I think he's comparing it that
he's just saying in the realm of Star Trek.
I know.
And for the record, all of you people that are saying it's just as bad as DS9's first season, I have 22 podcasts. We have 22 podcasts of me saying horrible shit about Deep Space Nine. I did say it in the knowledge that it got better.
During our first season of the Rules of Acquisition, we were like, I don't know, guys. I don't remember it being this bad. I don't know, guys.
Why
when
did
does
we
this
do
get good? There's a lot of us trying to handicap like how much further we have to go before it was watchable.
Yes.
Then Duet comes along.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh, this is great. Or Battle Lines. We were grabbing at it. Battle Lines.
We were in the weeds for a long time.
Yeah,
we were
like, oh, Battle Lines is great, and it's fine, but it's not like season 4 or 5.
Mike Arbitrati.
Yeah, it had Jonathan Banks.
All right, we can go on the next one. I just want to point out that it's the distinction. I don't think me and Hugh have called it worse than Arrow.
You've said you've referenced Arrow more than once.
I liked Arrow's first season, but I've only watched its first season, so I don't know.
Saying,
But I mean, it's whatever. It's TV. I think the Gilmore Girls is better than this.
Oh, I love Gilmore Girls. Don't get me. Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So Star Trek Discovery, we all agree, worse than the Gilmore Girls.
Yep. I feel pretty safe. Put that in the copy for this episode. But
on par with Arrow. All right. No, I mean, I just think that this is we don't have a level set. We don't have a level set.
This is the torchbearer of a 50-year-old franchise that is the underpinning of a whole streaming service for a billion-dollar company.
Sure.
It's
that's cost $8 million an episode.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like we're.
It should be better than Arrow.
Did I want this to be Deadwood? Oh yes, I did. Yeah, I have moved the goalposts in what I'm willing to accept because I do want to enjoy this, and I am.
And I haven't.
I know.
And I don't feel like I'm an asshole for not doing that. But okay.
I still think, for the record, that it could achieve great things.
Oh sure. Yeah.
I'm excited about what they have available, like what they have available to them character wise and story wise. So.
Yeah. Oh, and since we were talking about DS9, well, just going back, the little escape pod busy bee that Ash Tyler Vok is piloting.
Yeah.
When he gets the core thing out, you know where that we've seen that before, right? It's on the opening credits of Star Trek Deep Space Nine in season 4. Those
little ships are there? Interesting.
Yeah, and in the books they call them a busy bee, and they call it, that's what they, because it comes up somewhere later in like memory beta, there's a thing. Oh, but yeah, those things there's versions of those that are in the opening credits of Deep Space Nine. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I was like, oh shit, we were talking shit about that, and we didn't even realize, because I fast forward through the credits at this point.
Oh yeah, I haven't looked at them in a long time.
All right, so we'll keep it slim. We won't do that many more voicemails here. Now we have. All right, so here we have a call from. Not. We have a call here from a real person who actually exists. I promise.
Fixture on the call-in show. Fake person. Not a character.
Fuck you, man. That's my family.
You should post a picture of the two of you together. Well, it could be shopped. Flat Earthers and Rules of Acquisition followers or Discovery Home Companion.
They photoshopped 15 pounds on him. Yeah, no.
Oh, shit.
By him, it could be referring to me. I'm
okay. Nice save there, Wade.
Hey, this is Lane calling for Discovery Home Companion again. Long time no talk on the phone or whatever. So, anyway, we're back, and at this point, you know what? I'm burnt out after watching that episode. I feel like I have to defend it because I don't hate it or at least in the same ways that James and Hugh seem to hate it, but I also, this time, I don't know if I can defend it quite as much as Wade did. Now, the issue isn't even the plot. I mean, the dismissiveness, oh, that's just stupid. With the plot, honestly, that I don't see. The plot is fine on its bare concept. The execution, of course, leaves a lot to be desired. There's a lot of like little loopholes and things that they could have made clear that they're just vague about. Issues like that, yeah, on a structural, like detailed level, the plot, yeah, not so much. But on the concept, the plot, sure, fine. I like the idea. Like, we're going to go in the mirror universe. If you're going to do some stuff that doesn't look like Trek, do it in the mirror universe. And in fact, the mirror universe can be its own thing in this show, and I'm all on board. That's neat. Problem being, of course, it's not the plot, it's the tone they can't set. Like Star Trek, as you know, it's all about even when it's not idealistic and utopian, there's the idea that it's striving for that. And like Cisco, of course, being the prime example, can set aside and break the rules, but with that understanding that he's trying to strive. Nobody's striving for a utopian vision in the show. And also the characters, they all suck. Except, actually, I like Lorca. And the idea that Lorca is some mirror universe plant this whole time, and he's been plotting to get to the mirror universe and do his things. Well, that's actually I like that idea. That's a fun concept. Now, problem again, characters and tone. That's the problem with this show. They can't get right. That's where I just can't defend it. I'm too burned out. I'm tired of grimdark. Grimdark Star Trek is not what I want from Star Trek, and this episode really epitomized that to me. Particularly the screamy torture chambers. Like, God, this is not a horror movie. I don't want Saw sound effects in my Star Trek. That's a bad tone. The whole tone is just off, except for some of the stuff, as far as let's get together and make up costumes, look like the bad guys. That was fun, sure. Of course, the other bigger problem with the killing of Ricky, it's looking more and more like Brown is the new red shirt on Star Trek, which after they killed off the prior security officer, now the other brown guy who gets aligned gets murdered. I'm starting to really get worried about the
He makes a lot of good points. I think there's a little bit of overlap in what our complaints are, though. I mean, the thing with tone is the tone is a deliberate choice because of the current TV climate. That's number one. Number two, it's a deliberate choice because they said it 10 years before Kirk because they're trying to illustrate from the dark to the light. So they're trying to take a grimdark tone and actually move it toward the lighter one on purpose as like a thing. That's what they're striving for. Well, they've said that. They've said that it's so, intentionally dark, and it's going to get lighter as it goes on.
Right.
Now, I think they illustrated that in a little bit with the Harry Mudd episode, where it was so crazy how he's just straight up murdering people, and there's a lot going on there with that's not the Harry Mudd we know from the 60s.
But that episode had a lighter tone.
But it ended in the campy with the campy costumes and the horrible view of marriage at the end that was in sync with the 60s.
Right.
So I think they're doing this shit on purpose with the Grimdark, and I think it's going to change over time.
For a lot of reasons. I mean, I think you're being generous. I mean, I know that they've said that.
I would not believe that if they didn't say. I mean, I'm only believe that because they've said it.
Yeah, but I also think that they said that after. They said that after
the Grimdark wasn't resonating.
It's damage control.
Yes, the Grimdark got some negative buzz. Yeah. So I'm not saying that they're spinning, but
they're spinning.
You know, but there's a part of me in my in my brain that's going like, you wanted this tone to go over, like
because of the current TV landscape.
Yeah, but I think that's missing too. And then I think, okay, so then you got to ask yourself, well, if the tone goes over, then why do you want to move it when if it was successful, it took off, then why would you want to reel it back into Star Trek campiness? And the answer is just they wouldn't. So I think that the idea that they're saying that they're moving it to the light because I can't imagine that Lorca, who I love as a character, I've never really said anything bad about like Lorca as a character, and obviously Jason Isaacs is probably too much better than I think. Like he's probably.
I think a lesser actor handling Lorca could really fuck it up.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I know too, but I'm just saying that I think like there's a actors disparity. Like in the cast, like he's doing such a better job than everybody else. But I think that he's great, and obviously, the normal advice you would give a show is give more scenes to Jason Isaac. The problem is that his character is so antithetical to Star Trek that it's off-putting. Just to me, I don't know. It seems like, and so I and all of my critiques are he's a villain, right? Like, but like if at the end of the season the camera cranes up and they wave goodbye or look wistfully into a supernova, am I supposed to think like, oh, Lorca's still the captain? That's a good thing, and I just don't think it is. I think that
my whole thing is for going from what they've said that they're doing. Is that they're not writing any villains.
I believe that
he's a gray. He's not your typical Star Trek captain.
See, that's exactly what I don't want.
Really, I think having. He's a darkly pragmatic person, and I think it's because he was born in a darkly pragmatic world. And I think he's the kind of guy who will bust his own face on a wall and knowingly go in an agonizer to accomplish his mission. I think these are fun.
No, these are all characters.
That's an interesting thing to have in your Star Trek universe as your leadership. I think
going forward.
Yeah. I want when this is over with, when this mirror universe bullshit is over with, and we find out that the captain is from the mirror universe, I want him to stay the captain of the Discovery.
See, that just keeps the grim dark tone.
Why?
Like that.
What?
That's the kind of shit.
No, why?
Just because the captain has that heritage doesn't mean he's got to embrace it.
Exactly.
So he has a kid. So okay, so he changes and becomes a different character.
He has a place to go. Yeah, character growth.
No, I'm not knocking that. I just don't see. I don't know. I maybe.
That's what I'm saying is that if this ship is filled with damaged and traumatized people who make a choice to work together to embrace a more optimistic vision of utopia, that is an interesting thing.
I agree.
We're talking about hypotheticals, so I don't want to argue with specific hypotheticals.
No, I'm not that. I'm just saying, but I'm not arguing that your hypothetical is wrong. I'm saying that if they're going to go that way, where is the light? Who is the good guy
in Lorca?
No, or who's the good guy or the good function or the idea that's going to save this cast?
I'm telling you right now, Lorca was born into a world where you have to kill everybody to get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
To have a ship of people who believe in him, like Michael Burnham described to Tilly, this whole ship, that could be a transformative thing for him. If these people embrace him once they know the truth about him, that is something that could be a transformative thing. He won't be all alone anymore. He'll make that choice because right now he's operating all alone.
Who is the Luke Skywalker that shows his Darth Vader a better path?
I don't think it has to be like that.
Like,
I think because real people don't act like that in real life. I think we're going to find out that Lorca has been operating as, a man alone behind enemy lines all this time, and he's going to realize that in saving Michael Burnham, he has made a friend, and she's not going to leave him behind, and that he has a choice to make, that even though he came from this background where you have to kill everybody to get ahead, that's not the case, that he can go forward I'm sure maybe the prime Lorca was killed in natural causes and he just slipped right in. Like he didn't murder him. There's nothing that nefarious. I don't know. But that's probably where they're going to go with it, I would imagine.
I don't know where they're going to go, but just there's opportunity there. And
it seems like the story that you're saying is that Star Trek as we know it exists, and he's an aberration from it. Michael Burnham's an aberration from it, right? And that they have to learn a way to, they have to make a decision to stop being an aberration.
Star Trek's had,
and to sort of buy into the Roddenberry, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
They're damaged people. Star Trek's had damaged people in it before that have, like, Cisco.
I don't think that either one of y'all appreciate how dark Lorca is.
Oh, I just explained that he would go in an agonizer and he would beat it. I mean,
that's all personal pain. That's all personal pain. That's all stuff.
He threw an admiral to her death. Like, I understand how dark. I've been watching the show, James.
He blew up his own ship. No, I'm saying,
and Darth Vader killed a bunch of younglings and genocided whole planets.
I don't.
Okay.
I would imagine that Michael Burnham would.
Yeah, that's what I was like. The easy answer is Michael Burnham.
She would probably say that I understand dark pragmatism better than anybody that you're ever going to meet, and I'm telling you that there is a better way than this, Captain.
And that would be the Roddenberry to embrace a Star Trek ethos.
Yes. That's probably what she's going to say.
I'm saying that outside of Lorca and outside of Michael Burnham, I don't see a Star Trek ethos in this show either. All of everybody seems like grumpy asshole, dark grumpy assholes.
Yeah, it's because they've been in a dark grumpy asshole time of this war that they're not going to. That's the problem with the first half of this show.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was a character who wasn't a scaredy cat fish person? Wouldn't it be nice if there was a character that was working to uphold Roddenberry ideals?
I think that Michael Burnham at her core is, but she was hamstrung by this one bad series of events. That's her whole thing, is that she really is Starfleet to the core.
But doesn't she kind of really dig Lorca and the shit he's thrown?
No, I don't think so. I think she gives him this fucking side eye for a lot of it.
No, I think you're misreading. I think that you're misreading that relationship totally in my eyes. Like, I think that she's
grateful,
overjoyed to be working with him. She said multiple times that she is on board with his decisions.
Yes.
Every time he wants to, like, she is not.
She does give him the side eye.
Everybody, Saru has side-eyed him. Stamets.
She does give him side eye.
I've never seen him side-eyed her. I've seen her like
when he's giving here's my mirror universe plan. She gives him some side eye in this last episode.
She's a complicated person who knows how you should behave when you're in Starfleet. She's more tore up about her situation. She's more disappointed in herself. She's been nothing but a pile of regret about how everything went down that first couple episodes. I mean,
I'll agree
she's
with
looking for a redemption arc herself.
I agree with that, too.
That's why she's fully on board with Lorca, too. So, I mean, this isn't fucking new.
But you're saying that the show could end in this redemption mode where Lorca turns towards a Star Trek ethos. And I'm saying that someone needs to kind of nudge him
there. And I'm saying that Michael Burnham clearly...
And you're saying that that's Burnham.
Yeah, she has that ability.
That's Michael Burnham.
Right. Yeah. Why does she give these little speeches about Starfleet all the time to people? Speech about how she wants to just stay in jail because that's what's the right thing to do. And all that bullshit. That's all of her wanting to be...
None of that is about a better world.
No, it is. It's about...
And about seeing a better world.
No, not that specific. She wants to strive for, the Starfleet ideal. It's not like a series of ideas that she's rejected.
She gives a whole thing about this is the Federation. I believe in the Federation.
How many times? The Federation. The Federation isn't a better world. The Federation is a thing. She could have been saying that about any military organization. I'm saying that how many fucking speeches do you have to have heard through Picard talking about humanity has evolved above this and above that, and we do this. We're not petty this way. We move these things. We do things. We can not that it's because it's Federation, but because it's his personal ethos.
Oh my God.
She keeps saying that she's dedicated to the Federation, and that's fine. Every Marine that you ever talk to would say something very similar.
You're right.
A better world.
When she's given the speech to Tilly about what they're all scared of fear, but we have this other. That's the point he was just making.
What was it? Give me the speech. Tell me what was the theme of the speech.
Go.
About where she finds her strength as a captain, in the crew, in working together and being space friends.
None of that is about a better world.
If you extrapolate that a better world is about working together and not working out of fear and letting fear guide you. That's
not operating. Yeah. Don't give into this mirror universe bullshit is what she was saying, basically. Like, you don't have to worry about being the evil you.
Okay.
Worry about being the good you and find your confidence from this, and this. It's like she's rejecting what that universe stands for.
But basically, this show is not fun to watch.
I agree with that.
Because it's dark as fucking shit.
I agree with that.
Okay. Lane is right. It's like I said in the podcast this week, they can tack on any moral bullshit they want to this show. But this show has been an amoral, dark-ass fucking thing for 10 episodes. And
when they tack on moral stuff, it's them trying to get... It's not just moral bullshit. It's them trying to do...
But it hasn't been developed out of it.
That's true. It hasn't been. That's why I was like, that's my complaint.
It hasn't been developed. So we're saying that there is going to be a dose.
I'm saying that they started doing that in this episode, and it's possible that's where this might be going.
And that's why when you have the mirror universe, the mirror universe is a metaphor. It does to literally hold up a mirror up against what the Federation stands for, and when it's a big dumb metaphor that they're going to spend like 4 episodes in. So I'm sure that's what this one's going to be about.
Probably. I just
it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite trope either. I would much rather them not.
If we're arguing over can they tack on some like happy bullshit on the end
I'm
of it.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm telling you that it's possible that
But my argument
yes. And you spent the last 15 minutes saying that
okay. Okay, guys.
But you keep dismissing it as just tacking this shit on, but they could write towards that. They could write towards that.
And it doesn't. Okay. Okay, then maybe they could. Okay, then. Okay, then. Are we? Is this last episode a 5th pilot for the show?
Yes. That unfortunately it is.
Oh joy, loving it, guys. Yes. You're right. Yeah. Good show, guys.
I'm not saying it's a good show. I'm just saying it could be later on.
Well.
That's my thesis.
I'm just saying, if it's starting off good now, I'm not going to go into season 4 of Deep Space Nine and saying this is bullshit.
This is what I'm going to eye roll in this podcast going forward. If every fucking episode after a bad episode we say it's a restart, when they get out of the mirror universe and then they have the next episode of them out of the mirror universe and we all go, no, they've rebooted. This is a new thing.
yeah. It's tiresome. I got irritated when the 3rd episode was a reboot. Remember that was the one that broke your brain. Remember?
I guess my point is that Wade keeps going back to saying that that I have to judge this episode without a pass.
That I don't agree with that.
I'm saying they've set this up clearly as a new beginning, and you keep so let's just give it a chance.
I literally don't understand why this couldn't have been the next week's episode from last week. Whatever episode in December that aired. One where they ended with the mirror episode. If a week later this episode came out, would we call it a new beginning? Because it's a new beginning because it's a new year.
It's a good new beginning because they took a break and took a lot more time because they had to take a break for production to get the first out and then take time to do this one and start over. I don't know, man. This production's been a nightmare, which is why we've had like 5 different pilots.
Good show, guys. Good show. Loving it, guys.
We should close out this episode. All right. Well, why don't we put this episode out? Let's take it out back and shoot it back at its head. This is you should name this episode the Agonizer. Yes.
This is the Agonizer.
I do feel like at some point I don't think I've ever said this, that everyone who says that it is a 3-act structure of a story and it's directed clearly and the plot moves forward based on the mechanics you would assume a story follows. Yes, you're right. This is the clearest told story that they've had.
Yeah. And that's great.
No.
Well, you say it's great. I say that's like the bare minimum.
It's the bare minimum
that we've gotten there. Yeah.
Wade, you would be the best father. Like all of us.
He would.
All right. Are we saying bye? Say what you got to say.
All right. Wade, do you want to give out the phone number real quick?
Oh yeah. Yeah. We want to hear from you. Hey, be like Eric and tell James and Hugh how they're wrong. My army is assembling. I'm calling you to arms at 917-408-3898. Or send us an email and with an audio, try to keep it under 3 minutes at rolesofacquisitionpodcast@gmail.com. Check out our Patreon to support the show and listen to us fight about other things like Dune in our ongoing series, Much Ado About Nothing.
Go ahead.
And, do all the other stuff every podcast wants you to do.
Well, thanks again for listening to A Discovery Home Companion. We hope that you have the resolve to join us next week as we unpack another episode of Star Trek Discovery. For Wade, James, and myself, 3 to beam out.
Subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher or Caster or Fuckcast or Podsucker. Review us on iTunes. Also grab a bit of fame for yourself by calling us at 917-408-3898 and leaving us a message. We play that shit on air. Or email us at rulesofacquisitionpodcast@gmail.com. Also, listen to our Deep Space Nine podcast, Rules of Acquisition. It is pretty amazing, but you may not yet be ready for its awesome amazingness. Assess your personal awesomeness appropriately.